Stop for a second. Listen to the noise inside your own head. The deadlines, the notifications, the constant low-grade hum of anxiety that tells you you're falling behind, that you're not enough, that the world is spinning too fast to catch up. I know that sound. I lived in that static for years. It felt like I was a tiny boat in the middle of a hurricane, taking on water, completely invisible to the universe. But then everything changed in a single, silent moment. I stepped outside, desperate for air, and my eyes locked onto a sparrow, common, brown, unremarkable sparrow, perched on an oak branch. It wasn't worried about the stock market. It wasn't checking its likes on Instagram. It just hopped, adjusted its wings, and existed in perfect trust. In that split second, a terrifyingly massive thought hit me. The creator of the universe designed the aerodynamics of that bird's wing, calibrated the gravity holding it to the branch, and provided the exact seed it was about to eat. If the architect of reality is paying that much attention to a bird worth less than a penny, what does that mean for me? That wasn't just a bird. It was a letter. A love letter written in the language of biology and physics. We often look for God in miracles or burning bushes, but we miss the fact that we are walking through a gallery of masterpieces every single day. Theologians call this general revelation. The idea that the universe itself is a shout, a testament, a physical manifestation of a loving creator. Today, we are going to decode that message. We are going to look at the terrifying size of the cosmos, the mathematical perfection of a flower, and the unbreaking rhythm of the sun to prove one thing. You are not an accident. You are loved. Let's start with the scale. Go to the edge of the ocean. Stand there and feel the ground vibrate as thousands of tons of water slam into the coastline. Look up at a mountain range that tears through the clouds. When you stand in front of these things, you feel something specific. You feel small. But here is the paradox. You don't feel insignificant. There is a difference. Insignificance feels cold and lonely. Smallness in the presence of majesty feels safe. It feels like being a child held in the arms of a giant father. King David, a man who spent half his life sleeping under the open sky, wrote that, "The heavens declare the glory of God." He wasn't being poetic. He was being literal. When you look at the night sky, you are seeing a canvas that stretches for billions of light years. We can build skyscrapers, we can build AI, but we cannot forge a star. This scale is meant to humble us, yes, but it's also meant to comfort us, because the logic follows. If God is powerful enough to speak galaxies into existence, to hold the oceans in the hollow of his hand, then he is powerful enough to handle your rent payment. He is powerful enough to handle your grief. The mountains are a physical metaphor for his unmovable nature. The ocean is a visual aid for the depth of his mercy. You are looking at a God who is big enough to be terrifying, yet chose to be tender. Now let's flip the lens. Let's go from the telescope to the microscope. If the ocean reveals his power, the wildflowers reveal his personality. Look at the golden ratio, the Fibonacci sequence. You see it in the spiral of a galaxy. But you also see it in the arrangement of seeds in a sunflower, in the curve of a nautilus shell, in the way a fern unfurls. This is not chaos. This is deliberate mathematical art. Consider the snowflake. Atmospheric physics dictates that water vapor freezes directly into ice, forming a hexagonal lattice. No two are alike. Think about the extravagance of that. God didn't have to make snow beautiful. He just had to make it cold. He didn't have to make the sunset paint the sky in violets and oranges. He just had to make the sun go down, but he added beauty. Why? Because beauty is the language of love. Efficiency is for robots. Beauty is for children. Jesus stood on a hill and told us to consider the lilies. He pointed out that they don't work, they don't stress, they don't hustle, yet they are dressed better than the wealthiest king in history. The argument he's making is profound. If God lavishes this much detailed engineering and aesthetic beauty on a flower that is here today and burned tomorrow, how much more detail has he put into you? You are not mass-produced. You are handcrafted. The complexity of your DNA, the iris of your eye, the way your heart beats without you telling it to, this is the intricate design that screams you are known. But beauty isn't enough if it's chaotic. We need reliability. We need to know we're safe. And this is where the rhythm of nature reveals the faithfulness of God. We are currently spinning at 1,000 miles per hour on a rock tilting at 23.5 degrees. If that tilt shifts significantly, life ends. If the Earth moves slightly closer to the sun, we burn. Slightly further, we freeze. But we don't. Every morning, without fail, the sun rises. It doesn't matter if you were a good person yesterday. It doesn't matter if the stock market crashed. It doesn't matter if you are full of doubt. The sun rises on the evil and the good. It is a daily visual promise that God's mercy is renewed every single morning. Then comes spring after winter, life resurrecting from death. Every year, nature enacts a play about hope. It tells us that no winter lasts forever, that dormant things are not dead things. This rhythm anchors us. In a world of political chaos and personal upheaval, the seasons are a steady heartbeat saying, I am here, I am faithful, I am holding this together. And finally, realize that this message is universal. It is the only language that doesn't need a translator. A sunset in Tokyo creates the same awe as a sunset in New York. The psychological phenomenon known as the biophilia hypothesis suggests humans have an innate tendency to seek connections with nature. Why? Because it's where we meet the Father. Paul wrote in Romans that God's invisible qualities are clearly seen in what has been made, so that we are without excuse. That sounds harsh, but flip it over. It means we are without exclusion. God hasn't hidden himself in a dusty library or a secret club. He has painted his love across the sky for every single human being to see. The forest is a cathedral open 24/7. The river is a sermon that never stops flowing. So here is the challenge. The world wants you to keep your head down, looking at screens, distracted by the noise. I want you to rebel. I want you to go outside. I don't mean a hike. I mean step out your front door. Find a leaf. Look at the veins. Watch a cloud move. Feel the wind on your face. And in that quiet moment, let the reality hit you. You are standing in the middle of a love letter. The artist who painted the sky. The architect who engineered the sparrow. He is looking at you, and he loves you. If this message resonated with you, if you've ever felt God in the quiet of nature, tell me about it in the comments below. Let's remind each other that we aren't alone. Subscribe for more deep dives into the faith that grounds us. I'll see you in the next one.